Now we get ready for our co-main event, another rematch. What a war this was. We've been using that term a lot, but it certainly bears for this particular matchup. With a record of 25 wins, 2 losses, 18 wins coming by way of knockout. A former super welterweight world champion, most recently returned to action with an emphatic 4th round stoppage over Joey Spencer back in April. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Sydney, the Australian boxing superstar, the former world champion. Please welcome the challenger, Tszyu.
First of all, what a pleasure to be on this stage, the biggest stage of them all. You dream of these moments as a young kid growing up, and to be finally at this moment in this arena, to be fighting for the WBC world title, it's a pleasure of mine. Thank you again to PBC, thank you to No Limit, thank you to my team, thank you to everyone for coming out. We're going to put one hell of a show. As I said previously, he should have killed me the first time, because this time coming, it's going to be a whole different story. Thank you.
Tszyu, ladies and gentlemen, proclaiming it is going to be different this time around. Also, it takes a very special team to get these fighters where they are. For Tszyu, No Limit Boxing and the Rose Brothers, they are in attendance, and they've done an absolute marvelous job with Tszyu. Now, a man who is a bit familiar with Tszyu. 22 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Most recently dominated Cordell Booker back in March, stopping him in the 4th round. From Coachella, California, he is the reigning and defending WBC Super Welterweight Champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Sebastian, the Towering Inferno Fundora.
Thank you for everybody coming out. You know, this is going to be a great fight. You know, we had to do it twice. You know, that's how nice it was. But thank you, Al Heyman. Thank you, Samson. Thank you, PBC, for putting me on this great card. We have a legend, Pacquiao, coming back. We have all these great fighters, all these world title fights, and you know, we're going to put on a great show for you guys Saturday.
Sebastian, I'm sorry about the mic, but it doesn't reach your height. 6'6.5", the tallest world champion in boxing today. Sebastian Fundora. Also, I want to acknowledge his promoter, Samson Lukowicz, who is somewhere here. Samson Lukowicz certainly knows talent, and he told me, much like how he did with previous fighters like David Benavidez and Sebastian Fundora, he said, Sebastian will be a world champion, and lo and behold, here we are yet again. Samson, you're never wrong when it comes to your prognostications. Let's talk with the fighters up here, a part of our pay-per-view undercard, right before we get to Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. We have Sebastian Fundora defending his WBC Super Welterweight crown against the challenger, Tszyu. Tim, a rematch. You took the first fight on 11 days' notice. Now that you have more time to prepare, do you believe that that is going to be a huge, advantage for you when it comes to altering the result here in the rematch?
Yeah, I think with a proper camp, a proper preparation, being able to see things that work and see things that don't work, it plays a big part, and I hope to, and I will put on a different performance, a more intelligent one, and yeah.
He is the tallest world champion right now in the sport of boxing. How difficult is it to try to emulate somebody with that kind of height and that kind of reach?
It's tough. It's tough, especially when you're 5'10" and you're fighting someone 6'6". It's not an easy job. But I've never been one of those guys that isn't afraid to get hit. You know, if you're gonna get hit, to take a few and to land a few, then so be it. That's just part of boxing.
For you, Sebastian, the champion, as you get ready for your rematch, what did you learn in that first matchup against Tszyu?
Anything can happen in boxing. It's just as simple as that, It's just reminders. I really feel like I don't learn anything during the fight. It's just reminders. and that a reminder was stick to the plan.
Also, when it comes to, going ahead and competing against a man who you took away his world championship, but now you are the champion, you're coming in as the A side. How much confidence do you feel coming into this matchup?
I feel very confident. I felt confident in the first fight. I feel confident in this fight. It's just we have to run it back.
Are you expecting another bloody affair?
Yeah, why not? This is boxing. There's punches being thrown, and damage can be done. So expect the worst, I guess.
Tim, one of the narratives in the first fight happened to be about the cut that you suffered in the fight. I've watched the Gloves Off episode, and it seems to be a point for you that it disrupted you. And how much did that hinder you in the fight?
Physically and mentally to a certain point. The fact that I was distracted. Instead of coming back in my corner thinking about the fight, I was thinking about my cut. And that always presents challenges, especially when you're fighting at the very, very top level. Sebastian came out saying that he thought that I could see clearly, which facts was that I couldn't see clearly. But you know what? This is why the rematch is here. There's a lot of questions to be answered from both sides, not just my side. And the questions will be answered.
Sebastian, you've been pretty dismissive of the cut, as we've seen on the Gloves Off episode. Why have you had that notion that you felt that the cut wasn't a significant factor in the fight from your perspective?
Because he fought the whole fight. If there was such a big problem, I think the corner would have stopped the fight. If it was such a big a problem, that's the only word I can think of right now. But that's what I think. Again, like yesterday, they were asking me the same question. I can only speak from my point of view. If he's fighting me, I think he's fine. If the fight stops, then the fighter's not fine. That's what I saw. I was in the ring.
Tim, how excited are you to enter?
When I hop into the ring, I come in with the mentality that I'm going to die in the ring, and sometimes that's a problem, and sometimes for my corner to say, oh, we're going to stop the fight, that was never part of what I'm about. I'm about just getting in there and just finishing to the very, very end. If it means you're going to get knocked out, it means you're going to get knocked out. You try get back up, get back up, get back up. For me, if my corner stopped it, I would have had the shits. I would have had the shits with them. I would have had the shits with life. And the fact that I could have lived my life without knowing the true potential, So that answers the question of why the corner didn't stop it.
Sebastian, how do you prepare yourself for what is likely going to be another toe-to-toe affair where you're both going to essentially push yourselves to the limit inside the ring on Saturday night?
Prepare the same way I've been doing. I'm here at the top level. I'm a world champion. I think the strategy, the plans we've been going through and doing have been very successful. So I'm just going to continue to do these things and, win.
Tim, for you, same question. How do you prepare? You've been through it before. After the first fight, you were in the hospital. You couldn't even go to sleep because you had a concussion. So I'm sure you had quite a bit of time that evening to think about the first fight. But on Saturday, how are you preparing yourself in all aspects for this war that we are expecting on Saturday against Sebastian Fundora?
That's what we do. We're fighters, man. We're both in it to the very end. We at the end of the day, we wish our partners, we wish our family, we say our goodbyes, and we hop in the ring and we risk our lives, And me and Fundora, we're the perfect dance partners together because we bring out the best of each other. And may the best man win, and I know who the best man is.
Is there an extra sense of urgency that you feel? Because when I saw you as a world champion, there was an aura about you. Not that it's been diminished, but I know you crave that world title more than anything on this planet. But how much do you have that sense of urgency to reclaim what you feel is rightfully yours?
Yeah, for sure. I think with adversity, you only grow. And what happened in the past has only made me into who I am today. And today is a dangerous, hungry, young fighter who's willing to take it all, and just wants success, you know. So for me, this is a different phase I'm in from last year. It's a more mature, more smarter, more hungrier, and more confident.
Sebastian, from your standpoint, in order to retain this green belt that you have craved and that you love having, and your sister Gabriela is also world champion as well, the Fighting Fundora family, what you guys do is win world championships. But how much do you desire, and you looking to go that extra mile to make sure that on Saturday night you leave with the WBC Super Welterweight Championship in your possession?
You know, it's a big feeling. We trained hard for this. This is the dream. It's all boxers' dream to become world champion and to continue to be world champion, become a legacy in this sport. So, you know, it's nice that we have the main event as Manny Pacquiao, an icon in this sport, to remind us all, everybody in the card, that, you know, we all can be there. We all can be that guy. And, you know, I'm very motivated for this fight. And I'm happy again to be here, happy to be in front of the Las Vegas fans, you know, the best venue for boxing. And I'm just going to put on a great show on Saturday.
You going to steal the show with Tszyu on Saturday?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. This fight is the fight to watch.
Tim, are you going to steal the show on Saturday with Sebastian Fundora?
He answered it, you know, 100%.
Awesome. For Tim, for those that don't know, I love going back in boxing history. Your father, Tszyu, has had some memorable moments inside this building. How much are you looking forward to creating your own legacy and following your father's footsteps?
Yeah, 100%. My dad won his first world title here. He also won his undisputed world title against Zab Judah. And to create this Tszyu legacy and like Australian sporting moments, it's a big responsibility, but it's a big pleasure of mine. So I can't wait to step in there and live a young kid's dream, chasing legacy and chasing greatest sporting moments in history.
You have a lot of Australian fans that are supporting you. Australian media has come from halfway around the world. What do you want to say specifically to those in Australia?
Thank you, guys. You know it. You know it. I don't even have to say much.
Sebastian, you're very proud of your Mexican heritage, being from Coachella, California. Your father, Freddie, your trainer, as we mentioned about the lineage of the Fundora fighting family. But what do you want to say to all the Mexican boxing fans and those in Coachella?
You know, tune in Saturday. Tune in Saturday. We're going to put on a great show. You know, Fundora's been doing their thing, and we continue to do it for a long time.
All right, before we get ready to let these guys go, it is prediction time. Speaking of rematches, this one for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Tszyu, your prediction.
One word: war.
Oh my goodness. Sebastian Fundora, your rematch against Tszyu on Saturday night.
If it's going to be more, let's make it a bloody one again. Why not, right?
Wow, Sebastian Fundora, Tszyu, all I could say when it comes to our co-main event, will it be repeat for Sebastian Fundora or will it be redemption for Tszyu? A round of applause for our pay-per-view fighters, ladies and gentlemen. What a tremendous card from top to bottom. We're going to pose them off. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow, Fight Night Saturday, AXS.com if you want to be inside the building here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena or PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. We're going to have the fighters face off. What a card from top to bottom, Las Vegas. Get ready for something special. History will be made on Saturday night. Thank you.